In today's tutorial, we are going to learn about variables used in JavaScript, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn about variables. So, what is this variable? In defining that, the first thing that we are going to do, first of all, comment it out, and let's say we are now, if we reload, we can see that this is the output. Now in this particular case, suppose that this particular string, it has to be printed 5 times in this whole page. So if we call this thing into our body part, all we have to do, we have to write this initiate as JavaScript over here. So that is what we are doing first, and then all we are doing, we are calling it 5 times into this whole page. This is not necessary to be 5 times. It actually could be dozen of times, it actually could be 100 of times, and it could be into some different page. It is purely an example of a possible occurrence, so take it as an example. Now if we press Ctrl S and get back to our project and reload, we can see that this thing is now printed 5 times. Not actually 5 times, it is now being executed 6 times, because once you have called it over here. Now suppose I want to change this string. Instead of hello world, I want to use this particular type, hello cruel world. Now if I want to make this change to be reflected along the whole page, then all I need to do, I need to write on this same thing over here. Now press Ctrl S and get back to your project and reload, and now you can see that it is now getting changed here. Instead of hello world, we are now using hello cruel world. But this is not the same exact thing that we were practically intending for, because there may be a dozen of other instructions or commands or codecs. This is an HTML page, so you are using other HTML contents over here. You could use another programming languages time to time, so your page will be getting bigger and bigger, and it could be an error that you forgot to change this particular phrase, this particular part, and you forgot to make changes over there, and then you press Ctrl S and you can see that at the beginning hello world is getting shown here, and the rest of these contents, those are getting a hello cruel world printed format. So this is practically the exact necessity due to which the concept of variable is taken into account. Instead of repeating our syntax, our instruction, if we just write here var means variable. That means you are declaring that a variable is to be introduced in this particular place. Now you are using var and you are assigning a name. For say we are saying var phrase or anything that you want. That means a variable name has been declared over here. Now if we always put the semicolon at the end. Now if we just copy this thing from here, a variable has been declared whose name is phrase, and inside this phrase we are now assigning this equal sign here. It practically denotes the assignment operator. It is practically an assignment operator, but you may call it an equal sign if you wish to. This thing is an assignment operator, and it assigns this particular string hello cruel world, how are you, against this particular variable name phrase. Now all you can do, you can call this name, just copy it and do not put it inside a quotation mark, just call in the variable name over here. Now just press Ctrl S and get back to your project and reload, and now you can see that the only change that you have made, it is practically here and nowhere else. Now for say instead of this particular string, we are intending to use a particular numeral instead. So what we are doing, we are just removing this variable from here and we are assigning a number. And now if we call this phrase everywhere, we can see that this 112 number is getting called. That is why we use variables. We are practically, by using this variable, we are practically assigning some kind of text or strings or numbers or anything else against this phrase, against this variable name, and we are calling it anywhere on the same page or in the different page. That does hardly matter. You have assigned it only in a single place, you have named it, and then you are calling it. It's like the same as you have done in case of assigning a particular selector name into a class name and then calling it into your main HTML content. So this is the thing that a variable does. It practically saves you a lot of time. You do not have to repeat your things again and again, and this is the main cause that you are practically using a variable. Now there are some limitations about it. Now here all we are doing, we are using this variable name. Press Ctrl S and get back to your project and reload, and you can see that this output is being executed over here. Practically all these variable names, those are very much case sensitive. That means you have used here variable num, and it is written in all small characters. But if you use this kind of spell over here, the spell will be same, the spelling will be same, but this character casing will be different, and that is what we are seeing over here. So if we use this kind of thing here, get back to your project and reload, you can see that there's no output. Variable is very much case sensitive. This is the first one. The second thing is, you may start your variable name with this one and you may call it here. That means you are assigning a variable name as _num and you are calling it by name here at this document.write. Now press Ctrl S and get back to your project. You can see that this thing is now working. But in case if you use this kind of properties, for say I am using this one, this $, this asterisk sign, this one, all the special characters, and at the end I am using an @ and what I did over here, I just copied it and I am placing it over here. Now if we get back to our project, we can see that this variable naming is practically not working. That means you cannot use any kind of special characters at the beginning of the variable name, at the closing of the variable name. You need to assign your variable name with letters or with numbers or with anything, but do not assign anything such things such as these special characters that I have used over here. This is the second limitation of JavaScript. The third one is, you can put a number at the end of your variable name and you can use that same variable name here. Get back to your project and reload, and you can see that it is back in action. But what if I put this number, this 112 number, at the beginning of the variable name and calling the same variable name here? Press Ctrl S, get back to your project and reload, and you can see that there's no display. That means you cannot start your variable name with a number. If you wish to have a particular letter, for say I have assigned the variable name as A and I have called in the same variable name here, pressing Ctrl S and get back to our project, reload, we can see that it is back in action. But instead of A, if we put here 1 and if we call it here, now reloading, we can see that there's absolutely no display over there. So this is the third limitation that JavaScript will have. So you cannot change the casing characteristics of a JavaScript, as JavaScript is a very case sensitive script. The second one is, you cannot use any kind of special characters over here. And the third one is, you cannot assign any kind of number at the beginning of the declaration of your variable name. So this is the part that we need to know from this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we are going to learn a lot more about variables, such as concatenating these variables. Hope you guys have liked this video so far. If you guys have liked this video, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below and share us, like us, comment on us. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.